Welcome back to the shop, guys. Got a couple Idealarc 250/250. So both came from the same place in Louisville, Kentucky. One come with the little wheel cart, a three-legged cart. We'll figure out how to get that up where it doesn't slam down on the ground. But anyways, these are supposed to be pretty good welders, so I'm going to tear into them. I bought both of them. The guy was selling them for $150 each, or if I bought both, $250. And I had a buddy who was interested as well, and so he kept me company on the trip. And so I ended up getting both of these for $250. If they both work, he's going to take one of them, and if only one of them works, then I'll keep the one that works and use the other one for parts as need be, I guess. Neither one of them come with any leads, but everything as far as switches and everything seems to work on it. So I'll take you in kind of a little bit closer here. So not sure what that initials up there means. Pretty decent condition as far as the switches and everything go. These things have been beat up. I mean, this one here's had a rough life. This one here's had a pretty rough life too, but hopefully the guts of it are good. And we're going to look to really restore these. So at least one of them. So guys, on these two welders, they're both just they're both 250/250s, but they are just a little bit different vintage. So obviously you can tell they're both originally red. Why the business painted them yellow, who knows. But this is kind of interesting. So this one is a capacitor model. So this has what they call power factor capacitors. So you see that back in there. And that's those capacitors are supposed to smooth the arc out when there's fluctuations in the electrical, I guess. So I don't know everything I'm looking at here, but that's essentially what my understanding of them is that they'll do. Plus, my understanding is that they will allow you to run a little bit smaller circuit. So at idle, these pull around 20 amps according to one guy on a forum that I looked at. But when you're operating them, they actually pull less amps with the capacitors. This one here, you can see very different in the back. But nonetheless, really good condition. This one uses diodes, so there's your diodes you can see right in there. Both fans spin beautifully. The interiors appear untouched. I did have one wire on this one. For some reason, this wire right here was not connected. It says number 3 here and number 3 here. I looked on the other welder, which is nice. I got one to compare it with. And indeed, it is supposed to be connected to that. Why that was disconnected, I have no idea. Everything looks to be in excellent condition. Though dusty, these transformers have not been overheated that I can tell. They don't have like they've been heated too much, like a char look to them. Like I said, a little dusty, but nonetheless in pretty pristine condition. The switches are in excellent condition. Very minimal wear on those switches, on both the power switch and the selector switch over there. So let me get a better look. So very, very nice condition. Got all this copper and aluminum banding. So initially I thought this was copper, but this is aluminum. So pretty awesome. Okay guys, I'm gonna plug in the power cord. Okay, so the power cord is on. I don't hear anything, so that's good. So let's flip the power on. Sounds pretty darn nice. Okay, so that's good. Now let's test it. We're going to see if we can strike an arc. The goal here isn't to weld. The goal here is to have an arc strike on DC negative right now. So let's turn her on. I'm using kind of a jerry-rigged up setup here, just simply because we haven't bought cords for these because we're not 100% sure they work. So here we go. Okay. DC negative worked good. This is 613 rod, by the way. So here's DC positive. Okay, no problems with DC positive. By the way, I'm real hot. Matter of fact, I think I'll turn her down just a bit. I'm way hotter than I should be on this rod. And then here's AC, so let's see if AC works. Okay. This welder works in DC negative, DC positive, and AC. Unbelievable for 125 bucks. All right, guys, again, pretty sketchy setup here. But again, I'm just striking an arc, I'm not welding. So the first things first, let's plug it in and let's see if we've got power. Okay, switch is off. Okay, so she's plugged in. Now this is the diode model, the other is the power factor capacitors. I don't see anything funky going on there. So let's turn her on. I'd say that's pretty good, that's pretty quiet. Fans going back here. Again, these have not been run in years. The guy told us that they were taken out of service many years ago and just stored. So he didn't know if they even worked. He said they worked last time they took them out of service, but that's been a long time. So first time this thing's had electricity in it in a while. So let's turn it down so I'm not quite so hot. That should be plenty to strike an arc. So we're in AC mode right now. So we're just going to see if we can strike an arc in each of the different polarities here. Okay, so it strikes an arc in AC. Now we're in DC positive. Again, I'm using 6013 rod. See, that's smooth. So that's DC positive at about, I'll say 80, 90, 85, 80, 85 amps, DC positive. Now we're in DC negative, get 80, 85 amps. Unbelievable. I got 2 welders for $125 each, and they are top of the line. I know they're old. They're probably 60s models, but they max out on AC at 300 amp, and on DC they're rated at 250 amp. So these are powerful units. They just need a little bit of cleaning and a little bit of love. I'll put new cables on. My buddy, he's going to take the other one as well. We'll put new cables on these things. They'll look like new. Stay with me, and you can watch the restoration for mine, because this is the beginning of the restoration for one of these for my purposes, and then the other one's going to my buddy. Thanks, guys.
Make sure you watch the next video, guys, and see how I turn this welder into a great looking machine.